What's up, YouTube? This is Will from Will Development, and I wanted to make a video today. I just released my first video yesterday, and I got a lot of good feedback on it with a little bit of introduction about who I am and what I'm trying to do and all that stuff. And I promised a video once every Friday that would be documenting my journey into becoming a professional trainer as well as a professional natural bodybuilder. Today I actually wanted to release a video because I got a call from a potential client that hopefully you'll see next week in a video I'll release. But he got my mind jogging about things, and I wanted to release a little video about the industry and some of my I guess beefs with it. Because he had mentioned a few things, and I think there's a few misconceptions about a lot of people in the fitness industry and a lot of companies in general in the fitness industry. And I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that every single person, trainer, nutritionist, likewise, is looking out for your best interests. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that every single trainer, or even the majority of trainers, is just trying to get money out of you. But the thing you need to realize is that fitness is a business. And I spoke a little bit about it on my last video, where I talked about consumer versus producer in terms of the fitness industry. And if you're a consumer, it is the producer's job to sell you something. And he got me thinking, because he was mentioning how he went and saw a jogging coach or some sort of running specialist, that sort of thing, and he went through a whole bunch of pairs of shoes, that sort of thing, this, that, and the other. And it wasn't really my area of expertise, and I told him that before I said my piece. But I told him the thing I think a lot of newcomers get caught up on is the idea of details. And the bottom line is, when it comes to details, when you're first starting out, it's my opinion, through my own experience, that particular details don't matter. I mean, he was talking about the turn of his foot, 2 degrees this way, 2 degrees that way. I mean, this guy's not a professional runner. He's a big boy who's just trying to lose some weight, And to me, it's more important to get him on a schedule, getting him into a routine that allows him to be consistent, because consistency is what will lead to gains. And I'm going to use that note to lead into a little video about my nutrition. I mentioned in my last video that I eat somewhere around 6,000 calories a day, with over 200 grams of protein and about 80 grams of fiber. And a lot of people who aren't familiar with nutrition are probably wondering how it is I do that. That it's actually really simple and not that expensive whatsoever. I eat every 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours, depending on what's going on at work. I'm lucky enough, which the word lucky is kind of a funny word for me. I am privileged enough to have a job where I can stop every 2 hours, run to the break room, heat up my food, and eat it in 15 minutes, and I won't get chewed out beyond belief for it. My bosses actually think it's kind of funny how much I eat. Funny in a cute way, I think. But I'll go ahead and jump right into what it is that I eat, and even to an extent how much I spend on it. General nutrition, by my definition, is food that you eat, not including supplements. So with food alone, I actually only get about 5,000 calories a day. Maybe even a little bit less, maybe even a little bit more. And you see, when I talk about those details, I'm not concerned with exactly 623 calories per day or exactly 214 grams of protein a day. I'm not concerned with that. I'm concerned with getting my consistency. My meals consist of rice, beans, and chicken. And it's literally that simple. I spend, to feed myself these meals every day in a month, maybe $60. It's really that cheap. Now, it could be even cheaper if I bought white rice. And I think a lot of people have a misconception about white and brown rice, which I actually want to jump into that a little bit. White rice is brown rice. It's just been cleaned more. Brown rice is actually raw rice that they pull from a paddy, and then after they've processed it, which they process all rice, because processing simply means cleaning and harvesting. That's processing in terms of rice, as far as I understand the definition anyway. So brown rice simply has the outer shell of the actual grain on it. And that outer shell, much like a husk of, say, a banana, which I know you call it a peel, or like, let's say, corn, is very, very fiber dense, which is obviously a complex carbohydrate. And that's why I buy the brown rice, because if I were to just eat white rice all the time, I might find myself having to supplement with other ways of getting the amount of fiber that I feel I need to stay feeling good. Fuck it, to stay regular. Because, I mean, if I just ate white rice all the time, they're more simple carbs, which basically that's one of those details right there that I don't think beginners need to concern themselves with, why white rice isn't necessarily the best choice when it comes to rice choices. But you know what is best, right? You know, what works for you may not work for me, that sort of thing. So I eat brown rice about 1.5 to 2 cups per serving. You see what I said there? About. It's not an exact science for me when it comes to that. But what I do is when I cook my rice, I cook my beans too. And what kind of beans I use depends on what the hell I buy at the store that week. Or month, depending on how often I've shopped that particular period of time. But I always buy beans to mix with the rice because I like the idea of getting a different type of protein other than just chicken or even beef if I'm feeling adventurous. And obviously the fibrous properties of beans is very well documented and noted. Once again, helps me shit real nice. So I take rice and beans and I do about a 2-to-1 ratio. So I'll put in 2 pounds of rice, brown rice, and a pound of beans, and I'll cook that. Just follow the directions on the package. I'm not a fucking cooking show. Like, just read the directions to learn how to cook rice and beans, you know. And I take the rice and beans and I mix it all together, and I have a 2-to-1 ratio, obviously. And what I do is I keep that giant pot in the fridge filled with the rice and beans, and I cook that just about every Sunday. It depends on how big of a pot I make. You know, if I make 3 pounds this week of rice, then it'll obviously last me a little bit longer. But the cool thing about rice and beans in general is that it keeps. You understand, like, the expiration after cooking is significantly higher than certain other foods. So I can cook a giant pot and just eat off of it for a week and not have to think about it, you know, which is nice. If it lasts me a week, which sometimes, you know, shit happens, diet goes awry, what have you. And then I, every night, because chicken, if you know anything about chicken, chicken does not keep very well at all. It will last you maybe 3 days. So I can't cook that once a week. I'll cook that every night. And I just buy all natural, skinless, boneless chicken breast. I cook it, and I boil it, and then I shred it, and I add barbecue sauce, just that sweet Beta Rays. That's what I like. I don't give a shit. You know, if KC Masterpiece is on sale, I'll buy that. Once again, there's another one of those details I don't think people can concern themselves with. And yeah, I'm getting some sodium and some sugar, carbs, some simple carbs from the barbecue sauce. But if you've ever tried to eat boiled chicken more than 3 days in a row, it takes a lot more discipline than, to be honest, I'm willing to give, I guess, because it's mind-numbing. I mean, could you imagine just slightly seasoned brown rice, slightly seasoned beans, and boiled chicken. Oof. Treat yourself, you know what I mean? That's what I do. And I do about 4 ounces, 4 to 6 ounces, once again, about 4 to 6 ounces per container. I have 4 containers. What I do is I wake up in the morning. I usually start off the day with usually oatmeal, usually about a half to a whole cup of oatmeal in the morning. I mix it with water, or if I'm feeling special that day, I'll add it with I'll cook it with milk, which is extra protein, and once again, fiber from oats and grains in general are always a good thing. I'll never tell anybody to stray away from that. So oatmeal, and then I have my 4 containers. I also bring vegetables. I buy a big bag of mixed vegetables from usually Walmart, or whatever grocery stores in your area have at it, and buy mixed veggies. They call it a California blend. I don't know if that's like the official name for it. It's just cauliflower, broccoli, and carrots. Honestly, I'm starting to hate carrots because I've noticed these bags are like 1/3, and bear with me, that sounds stupid, 1/3 carrots. But the problem is they sink to the fucking bottom. So the first two to 3 times I dig in the bag, no problem whatsoever, right? I'm getting my carrots, I'm getting my broccoli, I'm getting my cauliflower. I love broccoli, and that's no problem. But then when I'm getting to the bottom of the bag, it's all just carrots, and I don't like carrots that much. They're not, out of those 3, they're not my favorite. Let's put it that way. But I like the variety blend idea of it. And all I do is I stick that in the microwave. I keep that frozen. And I pack 2 containers that are 3 cups each. And what I do is I cut the container in half. I actually cook that as I reheat my rice. 1 serving of my rice, which is 2.75 cups of rice and beans with the 4 ounces of chicken on top of it. And I cook my frozen veggie, which is about, at this point, it's about 1.5 cups of frozen veggie, and I'll eat that with it. Just for the simple reason that, goddamn, get your veggies, you know what I'm saying? So that's basically my nutrition when it comes to general daily things. And you'll notice you didn't hear me say I need exactly this much. I don't worry about sodium intake because I know it's relatively low. I don't actively avoid sodium for any reason other than the simple fact that when I eat a lot of sodium, I notice myself changing, getting headaches, stuff like that. That's what works for me. I eat 4 meals at work, so by 5 o'clock I've gotten somewhere from food alone, I've gotten about 5,000 calories from just food, which is nice, which is good. And then I do supplement. Right now I'm taking beef protein a lot. Whatever beef protein you like, if you want to try beef protein, go for it. I recommend it. I like chocolate flavored ones. And I drink a mass gainer during work just for the extra calories of it to keep my caloric intake high. And what it is the serving size is actually 4 scoops into this thing of water, and it's 750 calories as I recall, and 50 grams of protein. But one thing that you need to understand is your body cannot process that kind of caloric intake or protein in one shot. It's not capable. Most people's bodies. I know for damn sure mine isn't. So what I do is I actually take 1 serving and I spread it out throughout the day, and I work with it that way, which is nice. And I'm about to hit my 15-minute cap, so I'm actually going to stop.